to American Textbook Reading. I'm Brian Stewart. Today, we're going to talk about people start coming to America. It means about the pilgrim's journey or the pilgrim's journey. So, they go from Europe, which is right here, many tribes going from Europe, and they go to America. That's where America is. This is a big island, far away from Europe, but bigger. But actually, this is Europe, and this is the island. But I just put the flag on here so we can represent it, because this is only half of the island. The middle of the island is right here. So, today we're going to talk about the pilgrim's journey. There are some important things about the pilgrim's journey. The first vocabulary word is sailing. What is sailing? Sailing is kind of like, sailing is just like when you sail through the air. That's how sailing is called. You sail. You sail through the water. Like this is the Mayflower boat. It sails through the ocean and it goes to America. And it goes through the Atlantic Ocean. It goes through the Atlantic Ocean. It was a very, very, very hard journey for the pilgrims because they had to fight against other ships, they have to find food, they need to wait for the wind, even though they have a motor. Because the motor is very slow. The motor is very slow. It can make the ship go very slow. But the wind, which is going very fast, makes the sails move. So if the motors and the sails work together, then it will be able to pull the ship more faster. But if there is no wind, the motors will have to work alone. But kind of like, I'm just making a joke here. I'm just kind of like making a joke here. So the next word we're going to talk about is land. What is land? Land is like a noun, but now we're talking about it as a verb. Land, so like you leave from land, our noun, and then you go to the ocean. That's when you are sailing. And then you go back to the land, our noun. So you are landing. That's our verb. So that's how land is known. So now, this country is called Europe. People from Europe go from Europe as well as our Europe. And then look at Europe. It has lots of colors, but we don't care about the colors. We're just caring about the lesson today. So this is the Mayflower boat, which goes away from Europe and then goes to America. This is America. So it is very important to learn about these islands. Here is an island, here is an island, here is an island. But Each of the ships, this is, I don't know what is this ship or this ship, but this is the Mayflower ship. It is the most popular ship moving to America. So it's the most popular ship moving to America. So look at America. Where are they going? Are they going to Hollywood? Are they going to England? No, that would be crazy. But they are moving to Plymouth. What is Plymouth? Plymouth has a kind of rock, and it is called the Plymouth Rock. So the English settlers decided to build their homes next to the rock. Many people got chosen, but the most important people, like Christopher Columbus, who lived on sea for his whole life, then he was the one who is nearest to the Plymouth Rock. The Plymouth Rock is the most important rock in America, and Mount Everest is the tallest rock in Earth. But Mount Olympus is in Mars, and it's the tallest of the universe. But sometimes it doesn't really matter how Mount Olympus is so bigger than Mount Everest. But we don't care. So now let's look at this. This is the part of Africa. So this is Asia. I forgot to draw Asia around here. But this is Africa. It's a little separated, so we're going to separate here. I'm zooming it closer, so you can see the separate of it now. This is the separate of Asia, and here this is the separate of Asia, and this is the separate of Asia right here, and here is the separate from Europe. So we're just zooming in, we're not zooming out. So this Africa is zooming out, but this Europe is zooming in. It looks like a face of a crocodile. You can set it here. This is the eye. This is a monster. It looks like it, but it doesn't exist. Here, this is the mouth. These are the feet. This is the boot kicking Sicily. Have you heard about the boot kicking Sicily? It's the boot that belongs on Europe. It's a boot kicking Sicily. And this is just a normal feet. So it looks like this boot kicking Sicily is coming up. The eye is like this, and it's opening its mouth. And this is its head. And this is its feet. So it kind of looks like it. It doesn't exist. But there are different kinds of constellations for this too. Like in the sky of stars, it doesn't matter of our lesson. So now, are you ready for the mini quiz? The mini quiz is about the people that start coming to America, the greatest island, one of the greatest city, or the country. So the Americans and the Europeans got from Europe the monster, and then goes on the Mayflower ship and goes through the Atlantic Ocean and goes into America. The Americans looks like that. It looks like a shape of a wizard. the Wizard King. So, now, did you know that the Mayflower was a very small ship? It's only big enough to hold 10,100 men. But there were even more men on the ship. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to 1,100 billion. But maybe not, it's only 100. So now, let's move on with the next lesson. Here in the next part, we're going to talk about America. America is a big country and it is a little near from Europe, but not very near. You have to travel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 27, 20, they have to travel lots of centimeters, lots of kilometers, lots of miles, lots of meters, lots of centimeters. But the word millimeters is a lot. It has to be 100, 100, 100 billion, 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 billion millimeters. So we don't care about it, but we're just talking about America. The Mayflower's way to America is very long. It's long. So because you can see that the sea is the most biggest. It's the most biggest of our planet Earth. But Asia is the biggest continent, and the sea is the biggest body of water. Not the drinking machine, it's not the biggest body of water, but it's the biggest body of water in our house, but not the biggest body of water in the sea. So now it's night already, so the sea must be freezing. And you can't jump into the sea, then we freeze. We run up, we go back home, we get our towels, and then we go to sleep. We go to sleep. So it must be freezing now. So now let's answer a few questions. The first question to answer is, the Mayflower is the ship that Europeans used to go to America. True or false? So now you remember that we learned that the Pilgrims went on a ship called Mayflower with 2 flags on it, and it's their flag, and so you click true. Next, let's do the second question. The second question is, people from Europe walked in the sea to America. True or false? So the people from Europe walk in the sea? They do not walk in the sea, but they sail through the sea. If they walk in the sea, it'll reach their belly, their neck, their chest, their neck, their chin, their mouth, their nose, their eyes, their one part of their head and the whole their head. Then they kept going and going and so it's not a better idea to walk in the lakes. But if you can do it, if you're a clown, you can just get 2 plates, sit on them, and then make your feet stick on them, and then walk nicely and safely on the surface of the water. Not underwater, not above water, but on the surface. Not in the sky, but on the surface. So now, let's take a short break, ding ding ding, and come back, ding ding ding, and do the speaking section. So, don't go away. section. Let's begin. But first, I'm gonna ask you a question. You need to read along with me to practice the pronunciation and the vocabulary that we learned so far. So now, let's begin with the speaking section. In the 17th century, so let me ignore here the 17th century. It's the 17th century. Do not say it is the 1700s. Every time, remember that the 17th century minus 1 and you have 1600s. So the 17th century is not 1600s. I mean the 1700s, but it is 1600s. In the 17th century, people from Europe started going to America. The people were from Europe. One of the groups were called pilgrims. The pilgrims' journey was very difficult. They have to cross through seas, mountains, not mountains, sea underwater volcanoes that form the island. They need to rest, wait for the wind to blow. So the wind just blows the Mayflower ship. So I've already told what they've done. So the pilgrims started going to America on a ship called Mayflower on 1620. They started going to America in 1620. That's a very, 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 very long time ago that they go to America. Not in the 17, not in the 16, not in the 700, not in the 70, but they were in the, when they moved to, when they moved to America, it was the 17th century and it was the 1600s. Not the 1700s. If it's the 1700s, then it will be the 16th century. If it's the 1800s, it will be the 17th century. So if there's one kind of century, then we need to minus 1 and you'll have the kind of hundred, like 1800s, 2000s, 1000s, and many other hundreds. So now let's move on with the speaking section. When they came there, they built a town called Plymouth, and that town was near the Plymouth Rock. As I told you, Christopher Columbus's house was the nearest to the Plymouth Rock in America because he was the most famous sailor. He sailed from America to North America to Asia to Africa to North-South Europe to the Northeast to the Atlantic Sea to the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean to see where his mark is and many other places. He'll barely go on land, but he's like some kind of stories. But we do not care because he is a fiction man. But he does exist a long time ago. But we do not know what happened a long time ago. How far were the houses? How tall were the houses? We couldn't understand. But we could go to America to national parks to see. We can see some of them in some national parks. Those national parks are very important to America. So those national parks are mainly called the Tiger Sharia or the Mount Olympus. And so there are many others. So now we finished the speaking section. Now let's do the speaking comprehension questions. The speaking comprehension questions are: America was a country with many immigrants, including the Europeans and Christopher Columbus. True or false? As you know, it is false. It couldn't include Europe because it's just a nation. It's not a person. Just get back the people from America to Europe. It's just a nation. It's not a living being. So you click false. Let's move on with the next question. The next question is: America is a country who long time ago has many immigrants coming from Europe and other places of the world. True or false? So now remember, a long time ago. So it's false. Why? Because only Europeans came to America in the 1700s or the 1800s and other centuries that are long time ago. But now it is the 21st century. As you know, if you don't know the century, if you don't believe me, you can look on the calendar. It may be not like you because you're living in space, but it's the same as it is on Earth. So, let's move on with the third question. The third question is: people coming all over the world to America are from today and a moment ago. So is it true or false? Very simple question. As you know, it is true. It is way back around from the next question. So now, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe me more at American Textbook Reading, Science and Social Studies, Form 1 to 4. 4 I'm still putting up there on the closet, but you can't see it. But it's still 1 to 4, as I said. American Textbook Reading, Science and Social Studies, Form 1 to 4, as I said. And also write my name and your favorite lesson. And you can see all of my amazing videos of me and the Real Brain Source videos. So now, goodbye. Take care. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.